Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. It is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. A busy Monday morning, the 22nd of June already. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful Father's Day. And we're going to say good morning to Mayor Denise Didi Enriquez, Mayor of the City of Key West. Lots of fathers in your life, too, I know. And speaking of a new grandchild on the way as well. So that's exciting.
Yes. Happy Monday. Good morning, everyone. And yes, we're expecting a new granddaughter Christmas Day.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations to all of you, growing family. It
Yes.
is. Well, I tell you, our Key West family is keeping you busy as well. We've got a very busy week on the way, and we'll run through all of the events happening. But let's highlight the 250th anniversary celebration coming up, Truman Waterfront Park, on Saturday as the city of Key West comes together to celebrate the big anniversary for the United States.
Oh, Michael, we are so excited. It's going to be a very, very busy week for Dorian and I this week, planning everything, making sure everything is perfect for our celebration. Everyone's going to meet at 5 o'clock down by United and Duval Street. The parade will kick off at 6 p.m. It will go down Duval, down to Southern, and it will end up at the Truman Waterfront Park. And then from at 6:30, we're going to have like opening ceremony, and we'll have some guest speakers. And then at 7 p.m., we'll start the music and the celebration, and it'll be from 7 to 10. But before that, at 5 o'clock, they'll have booths and in the children's area, jumping balloon, and they're going to have so many activities for the children. It's just going to be a wonderful celebration, and I cannot wait to kick off the 250th birthday for our country.
It's going to be a great big parade and then a big party that happens this Saturday, the 27th. We are all looking forward to that. I will see you there as well. It's going to be a big celebration, and thanks to Dorian, also Jill and Sean Daly planned and helping
Yes.
to put together a big party with your direction as well. So it'll be great to see everybody there Saturday. Didi Enriquez, Mayor of the City of Key West, with us on Good Morning Keys, and we've got an upcoming meeting as well.
Yes, so we have, now remember, we changed our meeting from July 2nd to July 1st. So we changed it from Thursday to Wednesday because of the holiday on Friday. Well, we're closed on Friday, the holiday's on Saturday, but we closed on Friday. So the meeting will start at 9 a.m. and the evening session will start at 5. So this week we will be preparing for our meeting on July 1. So next Monday, we'll be able to talk about some of the items or the agenda items that will be on the that we'll discuss at the commission meeting. So I look forward to letting everybody know what's going to be on the agenda ahead of time.
Okay, we also have meet with the mayor. I'm sorry, meet with the mayor kicked off the week. Oh boy, it's been a long weekend.
Yes.
2 o'clock today at City Hall. Your chance to meet with the mayor, talk about your questions, concerns, comments directly with her, starting at 2.
Yes, please come on down. I always tell everybody sometimes we have visitors starting at 1:15, 1:30. They want to get here before 2, but just come on down and let's talk and let's talk what your concerns are, or if there's any questions, and see if we can help you. So yes, come on down today from 2 to 4, meet the mayor, and let's see what we can discuss. Then that evening, tonight, we have the Citizen Review Board. That starts at 5 p.m. And then on Tuesday, we have the historical. I need coffee this morning as well, Michael. Oh my
I'm in the
goodness.
same boat. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
The Hark Board meeting will start at 5 p.m. today in the chambers. Thursday, I will be participating in the TDC meeting. That's at 10 a.m. That will be held in Marathon. So tourist development meeting starting at 10 at the Marathon Government Center. Then that afternoon, I come back to Key West and I will be welcoming the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. They're having their meetings at the Casa Marina, so I'm going to go over there and welcome them. And then also on Thursday is the Development Review Committee, the DRC, that will start at 11 here in the chambers. and code enforcement meeting starting at 1:30, also in the chambers. Then we have a Friday, we have our early bird cleanup starting at 8, located at 1301 Atlantic Boulevard. And that's going to be hosted by the Island Girls Promotion. So come on down, help us pick up that trash in that area, and we look forward to seeing everyone. Now, on Saturday, there are so many things going on Saturday. So the Alex Vega Fire Station Museum, starting at 5:30, they are having their Mamey and Mojitos ice cream social. That'll be at 5:30. Then there's the 50th annual swim around Key West at Higgs Beach. That starts at 6 a.m. So they'll be swimming around all day around our island. And then also we have the Mango Festival here. It's going to be at Bayview Park, and the times are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So I believe setup is at 6 a.m. But so we have the Mango Fest, we have the Mamey and Mojitos ice cream social at the Alex Vega Fire Museum. We have the 50th annual swim around Key West. And then we also have the Key West celebrates 250th years of the American independence. So there is a lot to do on Saturday.
Oh my, yes, there is.
And then everybody will recover on Sunday.
Maybe so. Yeah. A little quick break. And then we have the July 4th weekend right around the corner as well.
That is correct.
Wow. And we do have the Marlins Day coming up too in a few weeks. We'll remind folks that that's going to be happening up in Miami, Key West Day at the Florida Marlins. So, and I know your entire family will most likely be there too.
Yes, that's on July 11th. And that's correct. They're playing, the Miami Marlins are playing that day, and the money raised there will go to the Key West POW group. So we look forward to that as well.
Okay, very good. Again, it is Mayor Denise Didi Enriquez with us, Mayor of the City of Key West. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. Busy week. I know you have a lot to get to, Mayor. Is there anything, though, that we should highlight at this time aside from what we've been talking about?
No, just always check our website. We're always updating our information on our website for the City of Key West. And if anything changes, it'll be on there. If we add anything, it will be on there. But check the calendar because like we just talked about, there's something going on every day, and especially on Saturday.
Yes, and we'll make a quick reminder, too, to hydrate. With all of these activities coming up, it was reminded to us as we were hosting the Sunday Fun Day pool parties at the Blue Flamingo that people need to hydrate. So as you're discussing and considering where to go throughout all of these festivals and activities, make sure that you are drinking your water or something to keep you hydrated.
That is correct. It's very, very warm out there. The humidity is very high. I just don't know if I'm getting older, but it just seems like it's getting hotter.
Well, and it's funny. It must be getting hotter because universally everybody is complaining just a little more. But I still say that we are tremendously blessed to live where we do here.
That is correct.
Florida Keys. So, yes, absolutely. All right, Mayor. Well, again, I will let you get to a busy day. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us and meet with the mayor. 2:00 today, and we'll see you throughout this week, Mayor. Thank you.
Yes. Have a wonderful week. Be safe out there. Thank you.
Thank you. You do the same. Mayor Denise Didi Enriquez with us, Mayor of the City of Key West. A reminder that we'll be visiting with the mayor. There's a meet and greet tomorrow, and then a candidate forum hosted by the Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce. That happens tomorrow evening at Tennessee Williams Theater. And we'll be having further details about that. Be listening, but you can meet all of the candidates running for office and then hear from them in the candidate forum at Tennessee Williams Theater tomorrow night. Again, hosted by the Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. We return with more of Good Morning Keys in just a moment.
Good morning, dear. Breakfast almost ready?
In a minute. So did you happen to call someone about spalling repair for the house?
You know what? I knew I forgot something yesterday.
Honey, you know how important spalling repair is, especially here in the Keys. If that spalling damage gets any worse...
Don't worry. I'll call Design Center in Marathon.
When?
Today.
How about now?
Okay, dear. Now.
Design Center, the most efficient spalling contractor in the Keys, providing the fastest results. With over 40 years combined experience in spalling repair and a member of the International Concrete Repair Institute, Design Center can handle the largest jobs to small structures. They also handle quite a number of condominium and county projects. Mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair. Visit DesignCenterFL.com or call 305-735-4042. Design Center, 6677 Overseas Highway Marathon. License number CGC 1523838. Remember, mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair from Design Center.
This is Ollie North for 4-Star Rentals. 4-Star Rentals is the most complete rental store in the Keys. They can provide rental equipment for every do-it-yourself project from your house to your yard. Bobcats, chippers, chainsaws, and tile saws, you name it, they have it. They also deliver throughout the Keys. That's 4-Star Rentals. Model marker 4.5 on Stock Island. These guys are really good. That's 4-Star Rentals. Go see them soon.
Check us out. What Colonel Ollie North says is absolutely true. We're locally owned and operated. We offer a fleet of delivery trucks for fast all-in-one delivery. 4-Star Rentals is the oldest tool rental and party store in the Florida Keys. We make it easy to get that job done for that party or very special event. We're located at mile marker 4.5 in Key West, or just call us and we'll come to you. 4-Star Rentals, 294-7171. That's 294-7171. Remember, Colonel Ollie North never lies.
Historic Pepe's Cafe in Key West, founded in 1909, still does things the old way. Diachronic, if you will. How about fresh squeezed juices? Think how good that margarita or Greyhound will taste. Blue Point oysters shucked to order because oysters work better that way. Fresh breads and outstanding specials in an eatery that opened the same year Ole Evinrude invented the first outboard motor. And get a jump on someone's birthday and check out our retail offerings for some great gift ideas. Pepe's Cafe, Old Town Key West, of course.
This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys, as we just were talking with Mayor Denise Didi Enriquez about the weather. We'll reiterate, it's going to be warm, 86 degrees right now, 90 for your high, mostly sunny, but humid conditions as well, but no mention of rain, so that is good. Tonight, 84, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, 90 for your high, mostly sunny. The rest of the week looking much the same as we work towards the 250th anniversary celebration in the city of Key West. That will be this Saturday as a reminder. So hopefully all enjoyed their Father's Day and will continue to enjoy lots of festivities happening throughout Monroe County. We are going to say good morning to Michelle Lincoln. She is Commissioner of District 2, Mayor of Monroe County, and with us this morning on Good Morning Keys. Good morning to you, Mayor.
Hello, and good morning to you, Michael, and good morning to all the listeners out there.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And you took extra special effort to be with us this morning. We appreciate that. You are, again, serving us, and you're on the road currently as well.
Yes, I am. I'm on my way to the Florida Association of Counties annual conference, where I'm actually the president for one more week. So unfortunately, I won't be in town for a lot of the events that are happening this week, which drives me crazy because I like to be everywhere. Yes. However, this has been a huge obligation for the past year, actually 4 years leading up to being the president of this well-established and respected organization. So this is our week of annual conference. And so, yes, I'm on the road.
Wow. Well, again, that's a big responsibility as the president of the Florida Association of Counties. And again, it is a busy time here, but you also have obligations as you represent us statewide as well. And I can only assume that you've made a lot of contacts in that position as you have continued to serve on the Florida Association of Counties.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of not just state partners, not just other county commissioners, but the cabinet, the governor's cabinet always wants to meet with us as well when we're together. And you never know who will pop in and want to speak with us. So that always makes it exciting. We had James Uthmeyer. I know he was speaking locally at an event here in town, but we also get them at our conferences. And, a lot of the policymakers from the state level want to engage with us on the county level so that we're all in step together.
Yes. Michelle Lincoln, she's mayor of Monroe County, Commissioner District 2, and you are running for re-election. And if you look at michelleformonroe.com, you'll learn more. If you don't already know about Michelle, you'll find out. It says here, I am attentive to the concerns of residents throughout Monroe County, and I pledge to act in your best interest. I humbly ask for your vote. That is succinct, but it kind of starts us off on the conversation about your bid for re-election. And let's talk about that. Your motivation to continue to serve continues to be strong, I can assume.
It does, Michael. It has been an honor to serve the residents of Monroe County. And if you back up a bit, originally I moved here and did a lot of volunteer work. I sat on the board of directors for Grace Jones Community Center in Marathon, where I live, right after Hurricane Wilma destroyed that center. I got on their board and stayed on the board while we raised enough money to rebuild that facility. And someone once said to me, "Why are you on that board? You don't have a child in daycare. You don't have a dog in that fight." And I said, all these dogs are our fight. That if we don't raise the next generation to be strong, where are we as a community? And so I started volunteering, like I said, for the Grace Jones Community Center. And then I became a mentor with Take Stock in Children, which I've now been doing for over 20 years. And I then took a job with the state of Florida as a guardian ad litem, court appointed to represent children who've been abused, abandoned, and neglected. And I held that position for 8 years, and now I still volunteer with them. And it was when I was doing that work, Michael, that I was up and down the Keys, and I just saw such differences in services provided in one pocket of the Keys versus another, and just a need for things that I thought could be handled differently. So I decided to run for Marathon City Council, where I served for 3 years. And then after that, I took the next step to become a county commissioner, where I feel like I'm making a benefit, making a change in the lives of even more people. And I love the work I do and really want to just continue working for the residents of our community.
Michelle Lincoln, she is Commissioner District 2, Mayor Michelle Lincoln, Mayor of Monroe County, with us on Good Morning Keys. And yes, I do note that a lot of your time, has been spent serving others, especially with an emphasis on children, with Take Stock in Children, as you said, guardian ad, what is the word again?
Guardian ad litem. We call
you.
ourselves gals.
Well, again, and then, a number of other situations that you found yourself in, again, in service occupations and service situations, etc. Let's talk about some of your passions that led to that, and now what you're doing to continue to work in your capacity as the mayor and county commissioner, with workforce housing being one. Again, it kind of goes along with the theme of helping others. Workforce housing seems to be a cornerstone of what you're working towards.
It is definitely up and down the Keys, and some of that is encouraging public-private partnership. Some of it is with the work we do with Habitat for Humanity, where we donate the land for them to then be able to build the homes. Because in my opinion, workforce housing isn't just the apartments, even though that's a huge part of it. It's also instilling in our community members the ability to build a house here and live here in your own home. So very proud of the work we do with Habitat for Humanity, as well as donating the land. We also very excited about the fact that we were able to find $35 million in tourist development tax that was in a pot all by itself. It was from over budgeted or under budgeting, and we had more money in that pot than we thought. And the commissioners had to meet with the state legislators and get permission to change the Florida state statute for a one-time, for our county only, to be able to take that $35 million and invest it in workforce housing in our community for the tourist develop the tourist industry, so people who work in the tourist industry. And we have spread that money up and down the Keys. We've worked in a partnership with the Housing Authority in Key West. We just donate a big chunk of millions to a project they're going to do at Point Siena Gardens. We have one in the Upper Keys. We have one earmarked in Marathon and another one in the Lower Keys. So very proud of that work as well as the fact our commissioners have waived the building fees and user fees for workforce house projects that are being developed by community partners and other agencies. So yes, workforce housing is near and dear to my heart.
Well, and how about let's talk about some of the other funds. We've mentioned funding, the dollars for storm water and canal restoration as well. That was also part of what you have been talking about and will be working towards continuing.
Yes, that's another huge component. You know, this county is very complicated, and we are an area of critical state concern. And maybe new residents don't understand what that means, but that was a designation that was given to us from the state of Florida. And so we were mandated to go from septic to sewer, and we're the only county in the state of Florida who is completely septic to sewer. And when we finished that task, the governor's office this past, I think it was like 3 years ago, said, okay, great. Now you need to work on canal restoration because the water that is in your canals, some of the canals are dirty, and that is impacting our beautiful coral reef. So we are taking that homework assignment seriously, and we have aggressively found funding sources to aid in doing canal restoration projects, which is a definite benefit for the members of that neighborhood to have a cleaner canal, and a benefit to our nearshore waters by having cleaner water going into the open waters.
Michelle Lincoln, she's Commissioner District 2, Mayor of Monroe County, running for re-election in just a few months on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And quality of life, certainly, you know, things like canal restoration and the like are part of contributing to our quality of life issues, but then there's the economic issues, and supporting businesses is also something that you've touted as well.
Absolutely. And the quality of life, though, I just want to touch on that for a second more, because we've kind of discussed the workforce housing, which is a part of it. But then after that is, what is that quality of life? What does it look like? So I'm very proud of the fact that we built a brand new library in Marathon, that we have renovated the library in Big Pine. It's adorable now. We just finished renovating the one in Key Largo. We're looking at renovating the one in Isla Mirada. I'm very proud of the fact that we have put in a new amphitheater at the Big Pine Community Park. We put in new pickleball courts. We've opened the Big Pine Channel Park, which is just another fabulous place for residents to go and enjoy our beautiful community we live in. So it's more than just workforce housing. It's the quality of life that surrounds it. It is the parks putting in new playground equipment, and also doing summer camps for the children so they have something to do while their parents are working and they're not in school. So I just kind of wanted to touch a little bit more on that, Michael, before then we do jump into the business community. And the backbone of our community is our workforce and our businesses. And so it is extremely important that as a commissioner, I interface with our businesses to make sure that we're doing as a county everything we can to support their efforts. And so one of the things I'm very proud of that I've been working on is with Grimmel Grove and helping them change their destination to that of institutions, so that they are now working with a college, one of the universities, to do a partnership, which will just be a plus for our community, as well as how we were working on making a user-friendly ordinance for our food trucks. If you'll remember, about a year ago, we brought up the idea of tweaking our ordinance for our food trucks because the language in it was outdated. And all of a sudden, all of the owners of the food trucks reached out to us and said, whoa, stop, what are you doing? You're about to really hurt our business. So because we listen, and it was at a county commission meeting where we make things happen, we tap the brakes, and now the food truck industry has been working with our planning department, and I believe we're about to roll out a friendly ordinance that is good for our food truck or people as well as the community members. So it's that type of being able to pick up the phone when people call me right away and hear what the needs of the community are, and then being able to respond in a way that is a plus for everyone.
Yes, Michelle Lincoln running for re-election to Commissioner Seat 2, Mayor of Monroe County, Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And you have served, as we talked about, in the city of Marathon and then on the county level and in your capacity at the state level as well. Michelle, you mentioned friendly a couple of times in the last comments. And sometimes the media and social media in particular is not always friendly to our elected officials. And you actually experienced some of that with some of the budget cuts that were made last year. And you did have the opportunity to respond with the commissioner's side of things on that. And there's also been some talk about the property tax reform and how the commissioners may be dealing with that. So if you'd like to use this time to, clarify some things in regards to possibly, some of the, some of the voices we've been hearing as far as, budgets and property tax and all those kinds of things. This may be an opportunity to do so.
Well, thank you for that opportunity. And let me just start by saying that I can only speak for myself as a commissioner, but I do believe we all are strong supporters of tax reform in a way that still allows us to run our government and to take care of the core services that as a government we are responsible to provide. Some of those are state mandated, and some of them include the constitutional officers and veteran affairs. And so when the governor's bill rolled out on a Thursday or Friday, it had left out a gap because the governor's bill not only is saying let's decrease or increase the homestead cap to 150 and then the following year to 250, but it gave very specific categories of what the ad valorem tax funding can be used for. And it had left out some very important services, including funding our constitutional officers and funding our government's resources of how we run government, as well as veteran affairs. And so I wrote a letter on behalf of the county, as well as every other, I think, county in the state did, just asking our senator and our House reps to add or amend the bill and add that other category back in. And I was very happy that they took that advice and added the category in. So now there's 7 categories that can be used to fund that you can use ad valorem tax money for. So I was very happy about that. I will say that as a county, I'm very proud of our lean budget. We are the lowest millage rate in the state of Florida, year in and year out. And this past year, we cut $15 million during our budget talks, and we reduced our overall budget by about $41 million at the exact same time that we increased the salary for our first responders, our firefighters, and the sheriff's department, because they were much lower than that of the other fire rescue in our county. And so I'm very proud of the fact that while we cut a huge chunk of money out, we did what we really needed to do in taking care of our first responders. So we are going to be starting our workshop talks for this year's fiscal budget 2027. Those are in the afternoons after work, so people can join us. And we are looking at how we're going to make this budget even leaner than last year's. And after we set our millage rate for this coming fiscal year, we are then going to circle back around and do workshops up and down the county with our residents so that we can all sit in a room together and figure out if the referendum goes through, that first year's reduction could be about $13.6 million. And then in 29, that could be about $27 million, because it's not just a cap on on the homestead, but it's also capping the non-homesteaded properties. So your businesses and your second homeowners to 5%. So that's used to be at 10%. So we're looking at all of this, and we want to make sure that we do workshops for us all to figure out together what we're going to do to provide good government at the same time as determining where are we going to make these cuts. So for sure, all the commissioners want to help our property owners by decreasing property taxes as much as we can.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Michelle Lincoln, she's running for County Commissioner District 2 re-election. She's also our current mayor on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And there's constantly seemingly a balance between quality of life and economic forces in our county. And those challenges will certainly continue. So as you're looking ahead, Commissioner, what are some of the things that you would like to accomplish should you have another term following the election?
Well, I'm still very excited about the work that we are in the process of doing with our mooring ball fields and shoreside facility for our liveaboard community that are predominantly in the Lower Keys and Key West, and also in aiding in the Derelict Vessel Act. So really excited about that work, would like to continue to help with that. Same with the artificial reef enhancement programs that we're doing. We're about to launch 3 more sites, and those have been extremely successful to help us protect our coral reef. I'm also very excited about a policy that we have been in the process of creating, which is a neighborhood improvement program. I know I've spoken to your listeners about it before, but this will be a way for communities to be able to request additional services for their neighborhood that isn't what would be considered a core service, especially as we're talking about tightening our budget up. So this would be a way for a neighborhood to create their own improvement program with the aid of our staff. So I would love to still be around to help finish that policy and any of the other things. Oh my goodness, for sure. The Marathon International Airport, which we're about closer to getting commercial air service back there. And this has been on my list for the past 8 years, knowing that we first needed to accomplish all the renovations that we're doing at the Key West International Airport. And we're in phase 2 of those improvements. The baggage carriage is one of the last, and then we're going to move on to the parking garage. So I'm very proud of that work and would really love to stay on to see all of those through to the end. I would also still like to continue to work with our legislators on coming up with some property insurance relief, which in my opinion is even more important than property tax cuts. I think that if you look at anyone with a mortgage, the cost of their wind and flood insurance is astronomical. And that is something that is controlled by the state of Florida, and the flood is by our federal partners. So every year I've been lobbying with our legislators and with the Citizens Governors Board to restore the 10% cap, to increase our coverage cap to 1.5 million, and to roll back that flood insurance requirement on homes that are elevated. So I think we made some inroads this year. I was able to speak before the Governor's Board just a few months ago, along with FIRM, which just celebrated their 25th anniversary. Thank you, FIRM. And, I feel like we are making progress there, and I would love to continue to serve our county and to continue with those projects and programs, as well as I am appointed to the CareerSource Southwest Board of Directors. And this was after fighting to get out of the CareerSource South, where we were lumped with just Miami. And as you all know, the threshold for numbers in Miami is much different than it is for us in Monroe County. And we were always becoming ineligible to receive any of the funding sources that CareerSource South had. So I'm very proud of the fact that we're now with Southwest, which is more of the counties, more in line with our population and our demographics. And that has been very successful in bringing back apprenticeship programs and workforce training for our residents here in Monroe County.
Yes, Michelle Lincoln. She is Commissioner District 2, Mayor of Monroe County, running for re-election in a few months this fall, but even sooner. So you've got a busy time ahead of you for sure. And I do see that you continue to have a lot of meetings with constituents and with the public. And I know that you have stressed that you are accessible and intent on listening to the needs of our constituents here. What's the best way for people to reach out to you should they not see you at one of the many places that you appear throughout the county?
I know that is humorous. They can reach for campaign reasons. It's michelleformonroe.com. Michelle, Michelle for FOR Monroe.com. Or if people want to get a hold of me, my cell number is 305-360-7666. Just Saturday evening while I was driving here, I received a call from somebody who lives on Blackbeard Lane, and they're having a fish kill in their neighborhood right now where hundreds of fish are floating into their canals. And she called me in desperation, not knowing what to do on a Saturday night. And I got a hold of FWC. I got a hold of our administrator, and, we were researching it. And apparently this is happening up and down the coast right now. And it's sad, but I also wanted to help figure out what are they going to do with these dead fish. So having conversations with them all weekend, and including last night with staff and also with waste management, and the waste management's going to go out and help them get those out of the garbage cans that weren't the official garbage cans you're allowed to use, but they were making an exception because they had to remove the fish. So that is just something that, as a county commissioner, on a Saturday night and all through Father's Day, I'm working on just to help a constituent with a problem they're having in their neighborhood. So that's what I call accessibility to your county commissioner.
Yes. Well, yes, that's a microcosm, if that's the proper word. But there's problems large and small. But if it's a problem to someone, it is a problem. And
it is a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So you've certainly shown the ability and the willingness to address those problems and issues. And also, happy Father's Day to all. I did see a tribute to your father. It sounds like he was a wonderful human being. And yes, he looks uncannily like Abraham Lincoln. There's no doubt about that.
There's no doubt about it.
Well, the family heritage continuing, and you are looking to continue to serve our community. We wish you the best in all of those endeavors. And I'm sorry we will miss your presence here during this coming week with some of the candidate events coming up, but understandably you are attending and presiding over the Florida Association of Counties here this week. Is there anything else, though, Commissioner and Mayor, you would like to say at this time?
Well, I would just like to brag about some endorsements that I've received, because I think those are extremely important. So I've received the endorsement of Sheriff Rick Ramsey, the endorsement of our Florida State Senator Ana Maria Rodriguez, the South Florida Police Benevolent Association, the Professional Firefighters of Marathon, the Professional Firefighters of Monroe County Local 3909. And just this morning, I received the endorsement of the Ocean Reef Political Action Committee. So the Ocean Reef PAC has also endorsed me. I've also just received the endorsement of the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers. So the endorsements are coming in. I greatly appreciate that. But what I appreciate more is the endorsements of my community. And so I really do ask that everyone please vote for me, August the 18th. This is an open primary because there were only 2 Republicans who signed up to run for this race. It is now open to the entire registered voters of Monroe County, whether you're a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican, from Ocean Reef through Key West. Everybody has the opportunity on August the 18th or during early elections to vote for me, Michelle Lincoln, for District 2 Monroe County Commissioner.
Very well. Well, we wish you the best, I guess, in that endeavor. And speaking of Sheriff Rick Ramsey, I'm late calling him this morning, so I should probably get to that. But also, we wanted to make sure we had our conversation with you today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your service to our communities. Safe travels, and we will see you soon, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Bye now.
Take care. Thank you. It is Mayor Michelle Lincoln, Commissioner District 2. And running for re-election on Keys Talk 96.9 102.5 The Talk of the Keys. Will return in just a moment.
The voice of Monroe County, yours. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9 102.5.
And it is Keys Talk 96.9 102.5 The Talk of the Keys. A busy Monday morning, 22nd of June. We're going to say good morning to Sheriff Rick Ramsey back with us this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Michael. I'm doing well. So good morning to you. Good morning to your listeners on this beautiful day.
It is beautiful, as you had mentioned before we went on the air, and I had mentioned it previously. Stay hydrated. It is warm out there, not complaining, but yes, it is easy to get overheated very quickly.
It is, the heat index, I think, was like 101. And I was out this weekend doing some yard work and some other stuff, and it was just stagnant. So, yeah, you got to be careful out there this time of year. You got to keep hydrated, dress with some proper clothing the best you can, and don't get a heat stroke out there because it's that time of year.
It is. Well, we had a few cases here of note that we will go through here to get people updated on a busy week with the sheriff's office. ATV recklessly being driven. A Key Largo man arrested last week, recklessly driving an ATV on US 1. Luckily, no injuries reported, but he was drifting out of the lane, performing a wheelie as it turned on US 1. Traffic stop performed, and he refused to identify himself, so he was taken to jail.
Look, the all-terrain vehicles are designed for one thing, that's to be off-road and the, dirt and whatnot and have fun, but they're not designed to be on the road for a lot of reasons. They're unsafe. We can't have these things on the highway, so when we see these things, we try to deal with them, but let alone riding wheelies. They have different tires, which are not designed for pavement, so they don't operate well. They tend to float and kind of move around. So, yeah, this individual is wanting to show his ass and riding a wheelie and operating this illegal vehicle, non-registered vehicle on the highway. And, it's kind of stupid. You're not supposed to be in the first place, but then you're out there drawing attention to yourself, looking for attention. So I always tell people, if you want attention, we'll give you all the attention you want. So we did come across this individual. We did stop him. As you say, he was non-compliant with trying to identify himself. Ultimately, we did arrest him for multiple charges and keep sending the message. Just follow the rules. Just do what you're supposed to do. We got better things to do. We don't want to ruin people's days, but these are unsafe. And again, they're not designed for the highway, and it's a danger to general public as well as operating these ATVs. So we don't have too many ATV issues going on in the Keys, thank God. Some other jurisdictions have them all the time. But, occasionally like this, they do pop up.
Sheriff Rick Ramsey, Keys Talk, 96.9 102.5 The Talk of the Keys. Speaking of following the rules and enforcing the rules, a man from the mainland given multiple mandatory notice to appear in court citations last week. He was spearfishing in the National Marine Sanctuary Preserve area off Plantation Key, and that is absolutely something you're not allowed to do, and he probably should have known better. And in fact, there was a mooring ball clearly tied to with a statement, no fishing or lobstering. He apparently did not heed that, so he has a mandatory notice to appear.
Yeah, he's lucky they didn't take him to jail. This was Jason Farr around the 87-mile marker. This is in the sanctuary, the protected no-take zone. And again, this was a 46-year-old male from Hialeah with some other people on the boat. As my patrol officer pulled up, the boat was tied off to the mooring buoy, which clearly said on the mooring buoy, no fishing or lobstering. And we had individuals on the boat with fishing rods fishing from the boat, as well as the owner, the 46-year-old male, in the water with a spear gun, spear fishing. So when we got them all together, the owner identified that it was his boat, but said he didn't know that it was a no fishing area, which again is hard to believe because you got to come up and tie off to the mooring buoy, and right on the mooring buoy is no fishing, plus all your navigational charts, your GPSs. You know, you can be ignorant of the law, but here clearly it wasn't ignorance of the law. It was someone who was just lying. He's lucky it was Jason Farr that gave him a notice to appear. If it would have been me tied up to a buoy that said no fishing, knowing he's lying and they're fishing and spearfishing, he would have gone to jail if I was on that boat. So he's lucky it wasn't me.
Yeah, well, he certainly knew better, and he had notice and everything else, and just disregarded it apparently. So, indeed. Well, Sheriff, we had a guy that seemed to be having a bad morning, and he made it bad for a number of other people, including your deputies, threatening them with a hammer. This was at 7:30 in the morning last week up in Key Largo, Marina Avenue. A witness reported a man identified as this suspect, Molina, was stumbling down the street, pointing his middle finger at people while waving a hammer. So he was creating a bit of a spectacle. When the deputies showed up there very quickly, he kept refusing lawful commands to stop reaching into his pockets. He didn't provide his name. He repeatedly swore at the deputies, used racial slurs, refused putting his hands behind his back. He told the deputies he would break their heads open with the hammer he was displaying. This guy was more than a nuisance.
Yeah, it just goes to show some of the crap we got to deal with. You know, wee hours of morning, 7:30. You know, this guy's acting strange, going down the street, as you said, with a hammer, flipping people off. You know, bizarre. We get calls. As soon as we respond, person's non-compliant, combative, aggressive, has the hammer. You know, as you said as well, racial slurs, threats to officers, threats to crack their head open with the hammer. You know, refusing to identify himself, giving false information. So eventually we did arrest him. But those are dangerous situations. Someone with a hammer who's not stable, you know, things can go really south really quickly. My officers use good discretion to try to de-escalate the situation and try to do what they can to make sure no one gets hurt. But we did get him medically cleared and took him to jail on a slew of charges. Again, difficult, challenging job to be a police officer anywhere, because these unexpected people show up that sometimes are high-end alcohol, drugs, mental illness, other related stuff, you know, which makes it that much more scary. So good job by my teams. We always appreciate the general public calling us when they see unusual circumstances, suspicious activities such as this, so we can get out there right away and assess and deal with it, de-escalate, or take the appropriate action to stop the threat to the general public.
Well, yeah, and Sheriff, there was another person with a threat to the general public presenting himself as such at Publix in Marathon, and following Publix customers around the store while armed with a knife. He would make eye contact with those customers, apparently, then follow them around the store or out to their vehicles for unknown reasons. He had a knife sheathed on his person, but he actually chased one of the customers out of the store, kicking, swatting chickens. This guy was definitely unpredictable and a danger to the public and the people that he was threatening, as it would seem.
Yeah, he was clearly making an unsafe environment for everyone at Publix, you know, making people scared and concerned. He wasn't there clearly to go shopping. You know, he was clearly acting bizarre, as you said, had a knife strapped to a sheath on his belt, and was just following people around the store, acting strange. And sometimes if people would leave the store, he'd follow them out. And again, they were freaked out. One person ran from this individual as he continued to follow him. We did get called. We did come out with this individual who continued to act bizarre and strange and not identify himself, and, you know, was a clear present threat. So he was ultimately arrested on some charge of disorderly conduct and a few other related charges. So again, we see people that just are not, for a variety of reasons, acting normal, whether it be mental illness, alcohol, drugs, or a combination therein, is just not uncommon. But those type of scenarios make it really dangerous, because people are so unpredictable in those state of minds.
Well,
so good job of my team.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the sheriff's department is there to keep the rest of us safe and, you know, to take care of those who might be a threat to others. Yeah.
That's our job. And again, you know, dangerous job sometimes. It's dangerous to be a law enforcement officer, even in a community like ours, which is one of the, you know, best, safest, you know, places to live, work, and play. It is such a safe community. But even safe communities, we have people that do stupid stuff or act in bizarre manners.
Yep. And we have people who come into our community from elsewhere and cause a hazard or a nuisance, to say the least. And I have to wonder if maybe last week was a full moon or something. I'm not a suspicious person by nature, but we had those incidents we just talked about. And then again, last week, we had a man exposing himself to passing traffic on US 1. It was a busy week indeed, disturbing the peace, giving a false name to law enforcement. This happened around 9:28 in the morning. A shirtless man in the Upper Keys. He was then pulling his pants down, exposing himself to motorists. He was quickly found and later taken to jail.
Yeah, strange. We've, again, what you said is true. This past week, a lot of strange, bizarre people acting strange manner. This is a 49-year-old male from Mount Dora who was around the 106-mile marker on the side of the road during daytime, and we were getting calls about this person as motorists are going by, kept dropping his pants and exposing himself to the general public. So we responded real quickly, as our response time is so fast, and we did come across this male who was less than cooperative with law enforcement, and ultimately we did have to arrest him for disorderly conduct and other related charges, and try to get him, off the streets and tape him from exposing himself to the public and acting in this bizarre manner. So it generally has been an unusual week for bizarre behavior between the guy with the hammer, the guy in the Publix, the exposing themselves. We've been on a roll with some idiots.
Yeah, sure have. Well, you've taken care of them in a very expeditious manner to keep us all safe from people who might, cause harm to the community. It's Sheriff Rick Ramsey with us, Sheriff from Monroe County. And then finally, there was that private plane crash last week, Key West International Airport. Luckily, no life-threatening injuries reported. 2 people on board. That's also something we don't see very often. But again, it was concluded without incident. The runway was reopened a couple of hours later. Florida Highway Patrol, Federal Aviation Authorities are the lead on this case. Monroe County Sheriff's Office is always on the scene and ever present at the international airport to take care of any eventualities such as this one.
Yeah, we do have law enforcement detachment at the airport full time. We had a small private aircraft, I think a small little Piper single engine, 2 passengers on board. We're trying to take off. The aircraft took off, and just as it started ascending, lost power, and they were about 200 feet up. They lost power and came down obviously quickly and wound up crashing into the mangrove area at the end of the airport. So it did a lot of damage to the aircraft. The aircraft, I saw some pictures, probably destroyed, but better off is the 2 people on board did get out relatively uninjured, a few cuts and bruises, more shooken up than anything. So obviously we're glad that if you lost power, you lost it just as you just took off and you have ability to land somewhere relatively safe. Fire rescue, police, sheriff's office, were there right away to assess the situation, render aid. And then it was turned over to FHP and NTSB, National Traffic Safety Board, does the investigation. Initial investigation on airport plane crashes are generally done by Florida Highway Patrol. So,
Yep. Well, a good conclusion to that, as best could be expected. Sheriff, it sounds like we've got a busy morning started there already. I don't want to detain you any further unless there's anything else you would like to mention now.
Well, I'm actually monitoring radio too. While I'm listening to you, we are involved in a pursuit in the central part of the county. Yep, and we just had to spike a vehicle out, so we're trying to get his car stopped that we refused to stop, and we just spiked the car. The car is now driving on 4 rims, so you probably hear some of my police noise in the background.
Yes.
This is a active call occurring right now. Daytime in the central part of the county continues to show you that stuff happens so fast. You know how fast things happen.
Yeah.
And just like me now.
78 miles an hour.
Multitasking. Listen to you, the guy's doing 78 miles an hour on rims on the shoulder.
Oh my gosh.
So we're multitasking, trying to do your radio show, trying to listen to an emergency call. Right now our listeners can hear we're doing 85 miles an hour on a car with spiked out rims, trying to get this car stopped. So it's just again, vehicle just crashed and rolled. So hey, it's always something going on in law enforcement.
There sure is. Well, again, we are humbled that you would take the time to speak with us and our listeners here again today. Thank you for that breaking news as well. Yes, it goes to show you your conditions change at any given moment, and we certainly wish you the best and safety always, but we are always indebted to you and your entire department for your service, sir.
Yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate you, Michael, and your listeners always give us the platform to talk about the sheriff's office and the good, the bad, the ugly that occurs in our jobs, difficult, challenging jobs.
Yes,
but we appreciate you and your friendship and partnership. I always talk to you about communication, cooperation, partnership, and teamwork at all levels, interior, inside, and exterior. And you're definitely meet all those criteria as an external partner and friend to the MCSO team.
Always, yes.
So thank you for the constant support of your show and your listener base. Well, we continue to strive to do the best we can to keep this community one of the best places ever to live, work, and play. We hope that we are meeting expectations.
Well, you are absolutely exceeding those expectations each and every day, sir. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for all that you do. You have a safe day. We will talk to you and see you soon, sir.
Okay, brother. Bye.
Okay,
Have a good
take
day.
care. Yes, sir. It is Sheriff Rick Ramsey, Sheriff of Monroe County, Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. With a developing story there with up to, what did he say, almost 80 miles per hour on four rims as they're working to, get another dangerous rider driver off of our roadways. That's a developing situation as we speak. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. Time for Glenn Beck.